Welcome to Elevate the Game, where DFW's top leaders drop gems on success, strategy, and legacy with your hosts, George Abreu and Eric Badiwala. Let's get into it.
Today, I'm joined by Joseph Deville, a GTM engineer, automation specialist, and the founder of Clayworks of Art. Joe helps B2B companies from high-growth startups to massive enterprises scale their pipelines by building smarter, more efficient revenue systems. If you want to know how to turn complex growth strategies into consistent, automated execution, this is the episode for you. So thank you, Joseph. If you can give us a quick kind of snapshot of your business and what you're doing right now and kind of what led you down that path.
No problem. I actually started in IT, and I was just in IT, and I was having trouble communicating my value to the marketplace. Didn't really know how to put a number on the things I do. So I said, what better way of putting a value on myself has been tying myself to the actual revenue that a company brings in. What I've done is combine the sales side and the kind of technical side of things and combine them into one role. And that's what a GTM engineer is. I approach sales in a methodical and kind of like mathematical way of pulling different levers of growth, and finding the one that kind of gives us the most return for the least amount of effort. If that makes sense. So if that's cold calling, if that's getting your BDRs a great list of cold call, or if that's making massive amount of emails and doing cold email strategies of trying to get a lot of top of funnel meetings that way. But so far, most likely what I've done is build a lot of content, build a lot of um, system improvements for companies that 10x's their returns on their outbound.
Got it. So kind of just following the numbers, and,
Yeah,
and go
yeah,
after
yeah.
what works. And
Pulling the numbers, like I use a combination of Claude Code, which is like one of the new AI
yeah,
um platforms, and pulling like all of their numbers, their data, where all their revenue actually comes from, because that's data that's not readily on hand a lot of times for companies.
yeah,
And I use like their call reviews, their Zoom calls. I look at their Zoom calls, look at all of the different things that they have available, and I kind of double down where they think it's kind of like a small gap between where they think they make their money at versus where they actually make their money at.
yeah.
And I
I
find
got
kind of like that gap, and then show it to them, and then show them how that we can 10x it. And that's kind of usually what I do.
nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know from running my companies, and I've seen it firsthand, where you think you're making your money from this source, but then when you actually break it down, you're actually making it over here.
Right, yeah, right. If I could have a nickel for each time a founder thinks that they did all of their revenue in one source, I wouldn't have to do this. I tell you
Yeah.
that.
So, man, there's a ton of competition in this space. What would you say is one thing that sets you apart from the rest?
Number one, I would say that me being on both sides, is I've been a technical guy and I've been a sales guy. Not too many have, most IT guys wouldn't never even touch a sales role.
Yeah,
So that sets me apart. And number two, results. A lot. There's so many people that can say they can do this and try to get like I have an actual track record of me at companies doing these things, and so I think like those two things set me apart from everyone else.
yeah. Results speak for themselves, right?
Right.
What's if somebody's listening right now and they're looking to grow their business or even their career, what's maybe one tip you give them?
One tip I would definitely give them is it's easier said than done, but to separate yourself from your business. So it's a lot of times we think with our hearts, and we build something from the ground up, and it's so close and it's very dear to us. And in order to win a lot of times, you have to kind of separate yourself and that attachment you have to the things you built and look at it from a nuanced view. And like I said, easier said than done. But you got to take emotion out of it, and you got to take that what I built sometimes may not the way I built isn't right, and trying to tell someone that isn't the easiest conversation to have a lot of times. So I would just say separate your feelings from your business and understand that uh, a lot of people, not that they necessarily know more than you, but a different set of eyes on a problem is going to solve it quicker than just one.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think I thought you were going in a different angle with it, which is a lot of business owners end up getting sucked into the day to day and letting go of that. Um,
Need to be on hands. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh no, that's definitely a
but
good one as well.
yeah, no, I
Um,
mean I like yours as well. I mean that's true too. You get somebody else to look at it and just a fresh set of eyes, right?
Fresh set of eyes, yeah, and also just like tell somebody like, okay. It's almost like you telling them like, okay, this right here, you did all of this right, but this way you built your business wrong. And
Yeah.
like if you tell somebody the immediate like defensive pushback is gonna be like, no, I didn't. Like but I think staying like level headed and understanding that this person has no skin in the game by telling me this. You know,
Yeah.
like so obviously he's telling me this for a reason.
Yep.
And if you look at it like that, then I think your business will do fine. The second piece of advice I probably get him is be patient.
Mm,
That's another one that people expect all of these like growth to like just happen overnight and like
yeah.
they let go of it. I seen people can their whole sales teams like because of wasn't no immediate results, but delayed gratification is something that's very much needed. Like putting in the knowing that you put in the work for something and may not get an immediate return is a concept that just people just don't like because we
Yep.
live in a world of like now. We live in a
Yeah.
world right now, right now. Give me, I need this right now. So it's when you tell someone that you put in the work for something and they're not getting something immediately back, it's like confusion. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the social media doesn't help, right? You see all these
Right.
successful individuals on their, but you're
Oh,
not seeing everything they went through to get there, right?
right.
So,
Well, definitely,
yeah.
definitely. That's another thing.
Yeah.
People don't seem to lack a lot of patience, and also comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Um, you are only seeing the good parts of people when we see stories like that, and nobody there's no downside like ever. Just like like social media, nobody posts like, oh man, I lost $6,000 today. Like nobody
Right.
ever
Right.
posts that, but they'll post it if they win it.
Yeah. So this is a perfect transition to my next question is what's one of the biggest challenges you've had and how were you able to overcome it?
I think like for me was just like just starting out. Like that's the I think the biggest like challenge I think I had was much starting out and things were slow. I wanted to give up.
Mm,
Things weren't compounding. I wanted to pivot and try different things every 5 minutes. So the biggest challenge was like not having a pipeline whatsoever and having to build it from scratch. That's what separate the entrepreneurs that want to make it versus the ones that don't is I think that's the perfect way to find out how much grit someone has. If you see them
yeah.
build something and at first, like nobody knows, you have no, can't build no trust with anyone. You have nothing. So you basically like have to work for free.
Hmm.
A lot of times, that's what I had to do is I had to take on like commission on the jobs. I had to do like things to build my name up in the tech community. And then but my face became a little bit more familiar. Then I got more referrals. People getting referred to me, and then before I knew it, I had more clients and more things to work with that I could even handle myself, and I had to bring other people on to handle the load. So yeah, just starting out and trying to build something from scratch was probably the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. What's So it sounds like you've spent a lot of time, working on your business and growing your business. Um, a lot of business owners and professionals, start kind of looking towards the future at some point, and how can you maybe build up some passive income or make some investments that are going to help you later on? Have you had a chance to do some of that, or any tips on investments?
Yeah, so usually index 500 is something that doesn't go still you can't just go wrong a lot of times, like just doing that. But lately I have been employing a different strategy of like focusing a lot more on like day trading.
Mm,
Um, but that's big risk.
yep.
So
Big
like
reward,
let
but
me
big
like
risk.
before I don't want to like tell anybody to go do it, like just advise anybody to go do it. But that comes from me like being passive before and kind of understanding the market
Right.
now, and now I'm having a strategy equipped for me to invest in a little bit more futures and a little more day trading. But I would say just stick to the index 500 if you're brand new. S&P doesn't do you wrong. You can just throw some money in there and just like watch it. And a good strategy is like for me was to go after companies that I knew. Since I work in tech, I probably had like a um insider knowledge on a couple of companies that I knew were gonna like explode. So I kind of like threw just a little bit of money into those companies. So if like you're in manufacturing, you might have some knowledge. If you're in oil and gas, there's use the field you work in or the field that you're knowledgeable in to your advantage, and like invest in companies that you know might be going somewhere sometime soon.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good advice. I have not been able to do the day trading. I just can't force myself to do it. But I have done a lot of different investments, just not the daily stuff. Um, okay, so as we're wrapping up the interview right now, I like to usually ask any exciting plans, anything you're really excited about in the next 6 to 12 months that you're working on.
Yeah, actually, so like my company finally has teamed up with a couple of the new AI companies, specifically Anthropic,
Nice,
and I'm going to be releasing my own like AI like GTM tool. So it's going to be all of the data that I've like aggregated at the different companies I've been at, and it's going to be an AI that actually helps people sell. So it's going to be like these are the companies that's most likely to buy your product. These are the
nice,
people at these companies that you need to reach out to. And you should be able to get them to respond to you with this type of messaging. So it tells you what company, what account, and what contact and what to say, which is
Mm,
kind of start off in like almost the whole thing. So that's what like I have coming, and I'm really excited about it. Want to make selling easy for people that's maybe not good at sales, because at first I wasn't, and I had to learn the old-fashioned way. So I wanted to
yeah,
so that's why I built something that what can I build that would take people like me and equip them with the kind of knowledge and the tools needed to actually learn how to sell something. So that's what I have
right.
coming. Releasing an Anthropic probably around September this year. And we've been working really, really hard. I think a team of like 30 engineers. Some of them from ChatGPT, some from Anthropic, some from Perplexity, and we combine like all of the different AIs to make this super seller AI.
Nice.
And it's gonna be releasing in September, and I can't wait.
So it'll find the contacts that you need to be getting a hold of, and it'll also tell you what to do with them. Like, is that kind
Yeah,
of
no, so you just type in like your website, or you can just upload like your product description of if it's a product or a service that you sell, and it will look for like different things. Like, okay, it'll start searching through Reddit, start searching through forums, Quora, all of these different things, and find like these buying signals that people have, and then it will rank them. and it will give you a list of
Wow.
the companies, the contacts, and why they're on the list, and then that creates the messaging.
Well, if you need somebody to test it out, let me know.
From
uh,
George, I got you, man.
yeah, yeah. So one more question I want to ask you since we kind of got into this. What are your thoughts on OpenClaw? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, OpenClaw is great. It's good. The problem is set up and the load that it puts down on a machine. So it's very, very intensive on a machine. I have a machine solo that I run OpenClaw on right now.
Yeah.
Like that's all it does. But can everybody do that? No. And everybody can't have a Mac Mini that just sits there and runs queries for you. So I would say look into Claude Cowork
Hmm.
it and also Claude Code.
Yeah.
Those two are that's where OpenClaw comes from. Is the models that were built for those. But OpenClaw could be your VA if you want one. If you really want a virtual assistant, OpenClaw will work for you. Is it worth the kind of the investment that I don't think so, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. It's just not worth the amount of work that goes into putting into it. But there are some lightweight alternatives that I think work very good. And if you know AI like that, then it will work for you. But if you're a business owner and you have 97 things to do a day, you will not have time to constantly update, constantly do the
Yeah.
security updates on an OpenClaw machine. So I would say
Trust me, I know. I've been trying. I started diving deep this weekend and I got it all set up and I got it doing some cool stuff, man, but I keep running into some roadblock. I gotta go
Right,
and
right. So it's like you spend more time like breaking through like the roadblocks to get this one task done instead of
yeah.
like just constantly outputting tasks. So I would say Claude Cowork. If you're
Mm,
not an engineer, Claude Cowork is where you should be living at.
mm.
Um, it does everything OpenClaw could do. Now, the reason people run OpenClaw because they don't want to deal with the restrictions.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little more limited, right? The
Yeah. So like
cloud code.
if
Yeah.
you tell Claude hey, I need to do this transaction, Claude will be like, I am not authorized
Yeah.
to yeah, do this right now. Well, OpenClaw is like, now I have a jailbroke kind of AI.
Yep.
So I get it. I see what the hype around it, but there's with everything, there's drawbacks to it. So I wish that we could build like something like that, like an AI without governance, well, without
Hmm.
like all the HIPAA laws, all that baked into it. Oh man, I wish it was possible, but right now it's just like nothing that's worth the time investment into it and what I'm gonna get out of it. So I'm gonna stick right now with my like I have a special Claude code set up that's like have all my plugins. I have like all these plugins and skills attached to it. I think like
Nice.
you would do way more, you'll get way more back out of it by investing in like building like the skill set of your AI and using different plugins and different things to make it better than trying to build a local AI like
Yeah,
OpenClaw.
no, that makes sense, man. I appreciate it. It's perfect timing because I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. But yeah. Joseph, thanks so much for taking the time today and jumping on and giving us your insight. If somebody listening wants to get a hold of you and connect, what's the best way they can do that?
First, you could definitely hit me up on LinkedIn. I think like that's one of my like most easy to access channels. Just Joseph Deville on LinkedIn, or you could drop and just shoot me an email at joe.deville@clayworksofart.com.
Perfect, perfect. I'll make sure we put those in the notes. So thank you, Joseph.
All right, no problem. You have a nice day, George.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Elevate the Game. If you're a mover and shaker in DFW with game to share, apply to be a guest at elevatethegamepodcast.com/guest.